Trade rumors, Kris Versteeg on the Toronto Maple Leafs trade radar? As the NHL season heats up, trade rumors are starting to swirl. One of the most talked about names is Kris Versteeg, currently part of the Toronto Maple Leafs roster. Recent reports indicate that Brian Burke, the team's general manager, received a solid offer for Versteeg, but so far, no deal has materialized. Meanwhile, renowned sports analyst Damian Cox has stated that there is significant interest coming from the Southeast Division of the NHL. Speculation suggests that the Atlanta Thrashers, currently holding the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference, are among the top contenders. After years of promising a playoff spot, the Thrashers appear to have found consistency this season, and adding an experienced player like Versteeg to their roster could provide the needed boost. Kris Versteeg, a Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks, brings playoff experience and offensive skill, qualities that the Thrashers could certainly benefit from. Moreover, with several former Blackhawks teammates on Atlanta's roster, Versteeg's transition to the team would likely be seamless, creating an ideal environment for success. On Toronto's end, one name that has emerged as a potential trade piece is Bryan Little. While he has experienced ups and downs in recent seasons, Little appears to be regaining his form, tallying 10 goals and 22 points so far this season. Although Versteeg has 3 more points, Little's impressive +13 rating compared to Versteeg's -12 could make him an appealing option for the Maple Leafs. While no deal has been confirmed, the possibility of a trade involving Versteeg and Little has the potential to shake up the NHL landscape. For the Maple Leafs, seeking to strengthen their lineup, and the Thrashers, aiming to solidify their playoff position, this trade could be a strategic win for both sides. All eyes are now on the next developments in this unfolding story. Versteeg to Thrashers? Atlanta looks to bolster playoff push. As the Atlanta Thrashers aim to solidify their playoff spot, rumors suggest they are keen on acquiring Kris Versteeg from the Toronto Maple Leafs. With his playoff pedigree and Stanley Cup experience, Versteeg could be the missing piece for Atlanta's postseason aspirations. Southeast Division shows interest in Kris Versteeg. Damian Cox reports significant interest from the Southeast Division in Toronto Maple Leafs forward Kris Versteeg. Among the speculated teams, the Atlanta Thrashers stand out, seeking experienced talent to reinforce their playoff hopes. Kris Versteeg trade rumors intensify. Brian Burke has reportedly fielded a solid offer for Kris Versteeg, sparking speculation about his future with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Atlanta Thrashers are rumored to be a top contender for the forward services. Thrashers target Maple Leafs Kris Versteeg. The Atlanta Thrashers, enjoying a strong season, are reportedly pursuing Toronto's Kris Versteeg. With his offensive skills and familiarity with former Blackhawks teammates now in Atlanta, Versteeg could be an ideal fit. Bryan Little for Kris Versteeg? Potential trade on the horizon. Talks of a potential trade between the Toronto Maple Leafs and Atlanta Thrashers have surfaced, with Kris Versteeg and Bryan Little as the focal points. Both players bring unique strengths that could benefit their respective teams. Maple Leafs Versteeg draws interest from Atlanta. The Atlanta Thrashers, in their quest to secure a playoff berth, are reportedly eyeing Kris Versteeg of the Toronto Maple Leafs. His championship experience could make a difference in their postseason ambitions. Versteeg-Little trade rumors swirl between Leafs and Thrashers. With Bryan Little rebounding from a slump and Kris Versteeg offering playoff experience, rumors suggest a possible swap between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Atlanta Thrashers. Fans are eager to see if the deal materializes. Toronto's Kris Versteeg a hot commodity in trade market. Brian Burke's willingness to entertain offers for Kris Versteeg has sparked rumors across the league. The Atlanta Thrashers, among others, appear to be a serious contender for the talented winger. Thrashers seek playoff edge, Kris Versteeg. The Atlanta Thrashers, currently in playoff position, are reportedly considering a trade for Kris Versteeg. His skills and experience could provide the boost they need for a deeper postseason run. Maple Leafs open to Versteeg trade, Atlanta Thrashers interested. Toronto Maple Leafs forward Kris Versteeg is at the center of trade speculation, with the Atlanta Thrashers showing strong interest. Could this be the move that pushes Atlanta to playoff success? Versteeg's value in playoff scenarios. Kris Versteeg has proven himself as a clutch performer in high-pressure situations, including during the Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup run. This experience makes him a highly attractive asset for teams like the Atlanta Thrashers, who are looking to bolster their roster for a strong playoff push. Versteeg's ability to deliver in critical moments could be the edge Atlanta needs to solidify their position in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta's playoff hopes rest on key acquisitions. The Atlanta Thrashers have long struggled to live up to playoff expectations. This season, however, the team has found consistency, currently sitting in the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. Adding a player like Kris Versteeg could not only strengthen their depth but also provide the leadership and playoff experience that the team has lacked in recent years. Chemistry in Atlanta's favor. One significant advantage for the Thrashers in pursuing Versteeg is the familiarity he has with former Chicago Blackhawks teammates currently playing in Atlanta. This chemistry could allow Versteeg to adapt quickly to the Thrashers system, ensuring a seamless transition that benefits both the player and the team. Toronto's strategic options in trade talks. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, trading Kris Versteeg presents an opportunity to address other areas of need within their lineup. While Versteeg has been a solid contributor, his trade value could help the Leafs acquire a player like Bryan Little, whose defensive reliability and resurgence in scoring make him a valuable target. Bryan Little's appeal to Toronto. Bryan Little, a versatile forward for the Atlanta Thrashers, has shown signs of regaining his form this season. With 10 goals and 22 points to his name, Little offers the Maple Leafs a combination of offensive capability and defensive responsibility. His impressive +13 rating this season underscores his two-way effectiveness, making him a strong candidate for Toronto's roster. Versteeg versus Little, a statistical breakdown. While Kris Versteeg has outpaced Bryan Little in points this season, posting 3 more than his counterpart, Little's plus-minus rating of +13 stands in stark contrast to Versteeg's -12. This disparity highlights Little's superior defensive contributions, which could sway the Maple Leafs toward pursuing this trade. Potential impacts on both teams. If a trade between Toronto and Atlanta materializes, the impact could be significant for both teams. Toronto would gain a defensively sound forward in Bryan Little, while Atlanta would acquire a proven playoff performer in Kris Versteeg. This mutual benefit makes the deal a win-win scenario, at least on paper. Brian Burke's calculated approach. As the architect of Toronto's roster, Brian Burke is known for his calculated approach to trades. By entertaining offers for Kris Versteeg, Burke demonstrates his willingness to make bold moves that could better align the team's roster with its long-term goals. 9. The Thrashers' urgency to act. For the Atlanta Thrashers, timing is crucial. With the team in playoff contention and momentum on their side, acquiring a player like Kris Versteeg could serve as the final push needed to secure their postseason aspirations. Delaying such a move might mean losing out on a rare opportunity. A trade that could shape the playoff picture. While trade rumors are often speculative, a deal involving Kris Versteeg and Bryan Little has the potential to influence the Eastern Conference playoff race significantly. Both players bring unique strengths to the table, and their contributions could redefine the trajectories of their respective teams as the postseason approaches. Versteeg's playoff edge could boost Atlanta. Kris Versteeg's playoff track record makes him an ideal candidate for a team like the Atlanta Thrashers, who are eager to make a deep run in the postseason. His ability to handle high-pressure moments and contribute both offensively and defensively is precisely what Atlanta needs to solidify their playoff ambitions. Thrashers' quest for depth and consistency. The Atlanta Thrashers have shown improvement this season, but adding depth remains a priority for sustaining their momentum.